This war of mine recently released The Little Ones, and with that came the story of Christo, a determined father and his daughter Iskra, who's pretty much a sandbag, who can't use tools, help out, scavenge, or guard, but eats all your food. Sounds like a glorious journey is about to unfold. Let's do this. Okay, I might have said one too many bad things about the girl. She's not completely useless, and the fact that she can help scavenge the house itself on day one. That might not sound like much, but it's miles better than having just one character run around and take care of business by himself. Soon as I got some components and some wood, my first obvious move was to get the metal workbench up and running. One thing that I want to make clear in the beginning is that I will be trying to stay as objective about this playthrough as possible. If you're interested to know about the lore of various characters, you can read about them on FanWiki, or better yet, play the game yourself. It's fun. Trust me, I've tried it. As you may see, I'm a fan and advocate of making a shovel day one. I have seen a lot of people not do it and argue that it takes up precious components and wood for something that you only need so that you don't have to sit around while your dudes clear up rubble for 4 hours and you get bored. Well, yes, I don't want to sit while my dudes clear up rubble for 4 hours and get bored. It's a video game. If I wanted to get bored, I would have done calculus or watched a Tyron Woodley fight. Oops, did I just say that out loud? As you can see, the plan to clear this place is pretty simple. I make Dad use the tools and then deploy the child so that she can go and scavenge. Okay, but here's a genuine mistake that I made that I will accept. I made a crowbar and opened up these locked cupboards. That is not a good idea. You see, the thing is that this was my first solo survival, so to speak. What I mean by that is when I'll be going out to scavenge at night, there will be nobody guarding the house. Therefore, to minimize the loot that bandits can take away from you, you should never open these locked cupboards. As long as they're locked, they can't be raided from. The other thing that I made was a bed in which the little girl can sleep at night. Christo's trait, being a determined father, actually allows him to sleep with his daughter, so basically you only need one bed at night and not two. I would not be taking advantage of that particular trait, as during the night I would either be scavenging or guarding, mostly throughout the playthrough. That's it. When the night finally did come, I decided to hit up a ruined block of flats first. With me, I took my shovel and a crowbar. I always recommend you do that the first time you hit up a place. As you can also see, I also took some other stuff. This is stuff that I don't want to lose in case of a raid. I reached the place and started picking up stuff I usually do. You see, generally in a playthrough, one of the first items that I go for is a knife, so I started looking for weapon parts for those. I also searched for food, but this place seems to have all juicy stuff locked up behind bars, for which I'll need a hacksaw. That's actually pretty unfortunate because that will use up 2 of my weapon parts right out the gate. Other than that, I tried to bring along a lot of components that I'll require for upgrading. I don't know why I brought bullets, genuinely, I can't think of an explanation for those, but hey, they're here, and so is Christo. Thankfully, the first night was calm and I wasn't raided. Right when he got home, I put Christo to work. He'll sleep later. This is where I also decided to make a stove. This follows with my plan to feed survivors only on odd days. You see, in this game, the hungriness of people lasts 2 days. If you don't feed your people for 3 days, they get very hungry. When that happens, they lose morale and get sad. Therefore, it is always a good idea to feed your survivors every other day to use food resources efficiently and avoid the morale penalty as well. After that, I made this dual serving of food. I did this today even though I plan to eat it tomorrow because food does not rot in this game. That's not a mechanic that's inbuilt. More than that, cooked food left on the stove cannot be raided, whereas raw food inside the fridge can be, and therefore this ends up helping me in saving my food resources from burglars as well. I also upgraded the metal workbench and made a saw blade, which I'll need for my scavenge tonight. After that, I rested Christo up, cleared up the rubble left, and working around the house till it was nighttime. The sniper junction and military post were both unlocked on night 2, but I just planned on going to the ruined block of flats again. I took my valuables and tools and it was time to rumble. Using the saw blade on the first floor revealed a floor with a fridge that housed some water and sugar. Instead of looting, I decided to deposit my raw food here since I wouldn't use it for a while now. I was pretty sure that things left like this will not disappear the next night. Pretty sure. Next, I found this cabinet with some pills in them and I took the bottles as they can serve as a valuable trading item early on. On the floor above, one cupboard had some raw food and components in it, whereas the next moonshine. This put me in a bit of a predicament. You see, the thing is, I was pretty sure that the trader was going to arrive in a couple of days, so I needed stuff to trade, but I also did not want to overpack myself because I still need components and wood to build stuff. In the end, I decided that 2 bottles of pills and a cigarette will do me fine for now, and I can come back for the other stuff later. After that, I just packed myself with components and wood and left. You may also notice one weapon part that I took, still taking an offensive approach to the game. That was about to change soon. I was raided. You can run away from RNG only so much before it catches up to you. The raiders took away my bullets and water and hurt and left Iskra depressed. While Christo was consoling her, however, some people visited. I mean, I was expecting one exact people, but instead I got these farmer dudes who gave me free vegetables. This, I think, was the way of the game to be kind to you since you are in a solo playthrough. Since Iskra was depressed, I asked Christo to talk to her, which helps her due to Christo's determined father trait. After that, I fed them both since it was an odd day. If I want to survive now, I'll need more food. I have raw food stashed in that apartment and have vegetables because they are gifted to me. I needed water then. Best place to get water is through a rainwater harvester, which I built. Unfortunately, after that I ran out of materials to the point where I could not even build a filter, so I just sent Christo to sleep and decided to bring more materials while scavenging. I brought the vegetables that I had received with me to stash them along with the food supplies. I won't need them till the next day. This allowed me to have even more open slots now, which I filled with components and materials. In the end, when I decided that I had picked up enough for the night, I decided to head back home. Fortunately, this time the night was calm. Also, this is where I finally realized that I had to start playing defensively. I upgraded the workshop for the reason as doing so allows me to board up my house. This is an essential part of any survival story, but critical if you don't have anyone guarding the house at night, as this reduces the frequency and success rate of raids. However, boarding up does require a fair amount of wood, which I plan to get from the trader that visited us finally. For the first round I got a lot of wood, weapon parts, as much water as I could get for a bottle of pills. For the second round I took the rest of the wood, a few materials, raw food and vegetables and got rid of the herbs as I don't plan on using them. Then it was time to board up some more. This has basically given me a direction now, as I will be looking for more wood for boarding up and materials to get to the next workshop upgrade, which will help me get a reinforced doors, which contributes to the purpose. This time at night I decided to visit the decrepit squat to loot those huge amounts of materials. I brought my valuables with me and decided to dump them in the first cupboard I saw. But after taking a couple steps further into the map, I realized that this was the one where you encounter a homeless guy, and if you give him raw food, he's pretty generous to you. I did that, and he asked me to follow him. On the way, I picked up wood because I knew I would be needing it throughout as it's necessary for boarding. Finally, he reached the desired spot and showed me a barrel which contained alcohol and a gem. 2 very valuable items that I can barter for more raw food than I gave this guy. Sounds like a fair deal to me. Let's just hope he won't end up stealing the food I have stashed in the cupboard. Okay? Watch your hands, buddy. Thankfully, the game had started treating me nice now, and my house was not raided. Day 5 was an odd day, which meant feeding time, but here's an interesting mechanic for you. Since Iskra is so little, literally, the day you feed her, she gets the well-fed emotion. After that, the next day she isn't hungry. Therefore, she can go 3 days without being very hungry. What that means is last I fed her was day 3 and next I can feed her on day 6 and still she will not take a morale hit. Neato. Also, this really kind guy came and provided me with wood. Unfortunately, I had already boarded up the entire house and needed components now to upgrade the workshop. Well, guess we'll at least not run out of wood anytime soon. I guess. So obviously now while scavenging, I did not have to worry about picking any wood at all and could solely focus on components. I also picked up the food items I left yesterday as Iskra would have to be fed the next day and some bartering items if the trader decides to visit. I returned back home on day 6 to find that we've been raided again. The safety measures that I had taken had led to the fact that nothing was stolen from me. The raiders just decided to leave Iskra wounded, which is not a lot of fun. I sat Iskra down to console her and cure her depression when suddenly a man came to our doorstep. What? 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 Yes? I was really shocked at this turn of events because I read in online guides that new survivors did not join you till day 16 or something. Fortunately, the slow but strong Angel decided to visit 10 days before planned. This is fantastic. Boris is arguably the best character that you can get in a playthrough, period. He's proficient with combat and has a massive inventory. He just runs a bit slow, but I will happily take him over leaving Iskra alone every night. He also turned out to be slightly wounded, but that can be fixed with a bit of rest. But more than that, I'm excited to take this baby out for a spin on a raid at the ruined block of flats. Now with another character at guard at my home, I don't bring my valuables with me every time either, so I decided to take all the food that I had stashed with all the other stuff that I had left before. I still would like to build that reinforced door though, so I did fill up the rest of the backpack slots with materials that would help me to do so. Oh, baby. Now this seems like the this4 of mine that I've been accustomed to playing to. The night fortunately was calm again and also, Boris apparently healed himself. Okay, then. Time to upgrade the workshop. I had brought enough materials to do that, but unfortunately did not have enough left to build the door as well. As you can see, another thing that I did end up building before was another bed. You don't need it. I mean, you can rotate sleep cycles. I just find it to be convenient, and that's why I decided to build it. Boris has pretty much become my permanent scavenging buddy, it seems. There are so many benefits to this. First, he has 17 open slots so he can carry a lot of stuff at one time. Next, Christo gets to be at home, which makes Iskra happy, and Christo himself is a decent guard because he won't let anything happen to his daughter. Excellent! Day 8 started with a bit of bad news as I was raided that night. Fortunately, the day before this, I had made a knife, therefore Christo was armed and was able to fend off the raiders successfully. Because of the really nice haul the night before, I was able to bring back components and materials which were sufficient to make the reinforced door, and so I got to work. The trader also visited us, so I decided to get raw food and vegetables from him. I never try to get canned food as it is quite a bit more expensive, whereas I was able to make a pretty nice deal with some components added as well. I also traded some parts later since I have been eyeing the rat traps for a while now and would love to get them up and running for additional source of raw food. Another feature added in the little ones was to teach little kids how to do select chores around the house. I chose to teach Iskra how to make filters and then installing them into the harvester so that even when the two guys are sleeping during the day, Iskra can make sure that we have fresh water every day. She gotta learn that because the guys are gonna start doing some dangerous stuff at night now, like visiting the military outpost. One knife is all it takes. You'll see. The trader is the first person you'll see when you get into the map. Be patient as another guy comes and calls this dude away. Then you climb up the ladder, take out your knife, and take this guy out from the back. Easy peasy. The trader can't see you here, so you can scavenge his body safely. Next, stay on the top ledge and move to the left. You have to wait here till the guy outside calls the trader again and then he decides to go back to the outpost. Now the trader is going to go back to his original position. Once that does happen, jump down. Go to the right and make sure to close the door. Then go to the right again and is another easy takedown of the trader from here. Now climb back up and get to the ledge where you can see the dude who calls the trader. Wait for him to go back in again. Once he does, jump down and follow him. This is going to require a little more patience since you'll have to wait in this spot again. As per his usual routine though, the guy will come out into your room and you can take him down easily as well. Because you have to do so much waiting, timing the military outpost is crucial. From here, I just decided to loot this guy's body and steal some stuff visible in plain sight and then make a run for it. One step at a time. We were raided again, but fortunately nothing was stolen from us. And now that we're pretty much as powerful as the entire army is, I don't think anything will be stolen from us in the future either. Boris, however, doesn't seem so pleased with himself. I'm sure it will wear off. We also got an event, I presume from the guys that gave us wood earlier. They needed an extra pair of hands to lock down their shelter, and I thought it would be rude to say no and went with them. This actually made Iskra a bit sad and also postponed my dreams of raiding the outpost again tonight. When Boris was up from his nap, I decided to build a moonshine still though. Alcohol is great in this game. It makes a valuable trading item and it can cure depression overnight. Yeah, that good. This is why this is one of the things that I always make in my game. I could have sent Boris to scavenge again and just hope that nobody raided my house and took away all my assault rifles and bullets, but since I didn't fall on my head as a child, I decided to stay. The story of the next day was both the guys sleeping as they were tired and Iskra working to get some more water. She also has been slightly wounded for a while now. I need to fix that. Anyways, as you can see, Iskra does get the job done but does it slowly than an adult would. Therefore, I only recommend using her if all adults are busy doing something else. Something like scavenging in the decrepit squat. I know, the military outpost is a lot more exciting, but I need components, wood and parts so that I could upgrade my stove, something which has been long overdue at this point. Also, I would like to get into building some traps as well. Don't worry though, the war or the outpost is not going anywhere soon. I just wanted to come here for the one last time and clear this area up so that we can move on to bigger things. The next day was spent working on said upgrades. Upgrading the stove helps you to save wood and fuel in the long run. You would especially be seeing the effects of which once winters roll around. I also got a trader on this day, which is very helpful. Since I don't need every single weapon that I acquire, I can use them for trading as well. Weapons have one of the highest trade values. The only weapon that I like to use realistically is the shotgun, therefore I can barter the rest away for components that I actually need. Other than that, you'd be happy to know that the wait is over. You gotta finish what you started, Boris. Time to dive right back in. Only with a knife. Again. Since I had already cleared the entrance area, I sneaked past that and quickly got in. Then I quickly and quietly got up the stairs and hid in this area over here. Conveniently enough, the guy came and I killed him? Okay, some unfortunate things happened here. My GeForce experience stopped recording here and I did not realize that till I had already scavenged this place. But in summary, I just stole a few more things, killed one more guy who was to the left and returned home. Also, I started recording with OBS at this point, so I apologize for the slight drop in the quality of the video. Sorry. While I was at the outpost, I also noticed that there were iron bars for which I needed a saw blade, and so I made it. Also, I decided to invest into a heater. The temperature right now isn't all that bad, but it is pretty apparent that winter is coming. By making this heater right now, I will be able to gauge the materials that will be required for upgrading it, so that I would be able to use it at peak efficiency. When the night came, it was time to go again, this time only taking the stuff to loot the already cleared up area of the outpost. First up was this cupboard right in the beginning of the map. It was logged and I had not brought a crowbar before, so I did this time, and dare I say mother load? Weapon parts, raw food, pills, and an assault rifle. Holy moly, we're rich. Next, I got into the actual outpost and climbed up the stairs, where we partially killed that guy last time, I guess. The saw blade is required to the right, and I'm pretty comfortable using it since I know that there is no one around to hear it. I got in and scavenged and got more meds, bandages, and pills. After that, I got down and went in deeper. This is the area where I killed the other dude, which was lost in the corrupted recording accident. Now my plan was to go up this watchtower to hunt for more loot, however, there is a guard watching. There, you can see, he's right there. I treaded forward cautiously because I don't want to get Boris killed for no reason, and as soon as I started climbing the ladder, sure enough, the guard saw me and I was like, nope. Run to the exit, bro. I'm not having any of this. We'll just take this one step at a time. Day 13 brought with it the outbreak of crime. I was expecting the winter to arrive first since the temperature was already at 16 degrees. Means the winter when it does arrive is gonna be a bit harsh. This day also brought the trader again. For parts, components, and water, I traded 2 moonshines and 1 pistol. Then for round 2, I got more components, some wood, water, and cigs for 2 more moonshines. The cigs might seem like a weird choice, but quite honestly, I think we're at the point in the game where we can go for luxury a little bit as well, so why not party a bit? Speaking of partying, I decided to build a hatchet. I don't know why I linked that to partying, I just needed a segue, okay? Go easy on me. In any case, the hatchet is a very useful tool. You can use it to smash up furniture that is just kept around for aesthetic value and turn it into much more valuable wood and fuel. I also finally had enough parts to build a trap, so I set that up as well. How long is this fucking thing gonna take? And then came the night. This time I wanted to leave no doubt, so I took with me the knife, the shotgun, and 10 bullets. Let's finish this area up. I went back to this watchtower area. This time I intentionally ran in and tried to get the attention of the guard. Soon as he saw me, I ran backwards and hid myself. Sure enough, he followed me, got suckered into the trap, and it was an easy takedown. I closed the door before I looted the body. Next, I decided to get out and saw a guard who ran at the side of me. After a while, he came back and stupidly ran into the same trap that his friend had, and there was kill number 2. After looting his body as well, I took out my shotgun and proceeded towards the house. As I was getting there, another guard came down from the ladder holding another assault rifle and demanded that I put the gun down. I wasn't feeling like listening to him and instead just blew his brains out with my shotgun. That was actually easy. I still wasn't sure if I was safe in this place or if there was another guy hiding in here somewhere, so I scavenged with caution. The loot at this place, however, was amazing. Food, weapon parts, weapons, pills, valuables, you name it. These guys had it all. Since my inventory got full, I decided to go back for the night, but I think I may come back here as there does seem to be more loot that I'm leaving behind. We were raided at the night and used 5 bullets to defend, but instead I brought back 34 more, so I guess I'm doing just fine for right now. Day 14 consisted of a lot of chopping furniture to gain wood and fuel to prepare for the winter, before I got a surprise. Remember how I told you about the websites that claim that we'll get another visitor to come to stay with us in about 2 weeks? Well, I guess they weren't lying. I got Erica. This girl sneaks quietly, is a smoker, and doesn't have a lot of inventory space but is proficient in combat. This will help us in both guarding against raiders and murdering people stealthily. I'll take it. In the night now, I had 2 people guarding the house now, and I decided to scavenge once again with Big Bad Boris. I still wasn't sure that I had killed every single guard in the outpost, so just to be triple safe, I took a shotgun and a crowbar with me. Right away, I rushed in and got to the end of the map and started scavenging. I also noticed the stairs going down to a basement, but unfortunately that place was locked with bars, so I could do nothing about that today. Other than that, I pretty much just looted everything that I could get my hands on. Apparently I had killed every single one of the guards, so I didn't have to use my backup weapons and returned home safely. Since it is the outbreak of crime, it is no surprise that we were attacked. However, I feel much safer now with Erica at guard as well. With Erica though, regulating food cycles has become kind of a pain. Thankfully, we have enough food so that even if anybody takes an extra meal once or twice, we can easily get away with it. During the day, we got another event. It was our friendly neighbor who we helped reinforce their shelter last time. They gave me booze, I said thank you, all in front of a little girl. It was sweet. Trust me, I was there. Then came nighttime. By this point, I think I completely forgot that the basement of the military outpost was still not covered by me, and instead I chose a new adventure, the sniper junction. I decided to take Erica this time because Boris is slow and I don't trust him running as fast as I would want him to through the area. So if you don't know, the sniper junction is basically a road area in front of a shooting gallery where a sniper, an NPC you can't see or kill, is shooting anything that moves. Your goal basically here is to move behind cover and avoid getting shot. It's pretty straightforward and easy actually, only if you're not Boris. Actually, even Boris can probably do this correctly in the first try, but I certainly would not risk it. Anyways, once you have made your way past the dangerous stuff, you get into this apartment and make your way downstairs. From here, it is a straight path to a door which you can open. Once you do that, this guy who was shot by the sniper will thank you and make his way to the apartment. If you follow him, he'll make his way back to his baby and give him medicine. Now while you are feeling all superhero-like, he'll give you the location to 5 gems which he has hidden under the bed. I took them and made my way back home. Now I'm much more comfortable bringing Boris here now that I have that door. Erica made it back in one piece, but she started to feel unwell due to my sheer negligence. I gave her pills and put her to sleep. Also, for some reason, the little girl thought that she was hurt when she wasn't. Okay. Anyways, this action of Erica has left everyone content and life is all awesome again. Day 16 also marked the Trader Day. God, if only I had 5 jewels for saving a man's and his child's life. Oh wait. Using them I got cigs, since now we have 2 smokers, Boris and Erica, raw food, components and parts. For round 2 I got all the wood for 1 moonshine and jewelry. Since I had acquired enough parts, I invested into another trap for even more food resources. Love the smell of dead rodents in the morning. In the night, then, I went out with Boris to clean out the rest of the sniper junction. Now that I have opened the door in the basement, I feel safe enough to bring Mr. Strong but Slow with me. After getting through the sniper area, I went back to the apartment. Last time with Erica, I had scouted out this place and seen that it requires a saw blade, so I brought one with me. The loot here was decent. The fridge had food supplies that I like to see, especially vegetables. Plus there were random meds that were stashed into different places, which are always helpful. Other than that, there were components, woods and parts scattered around, for which I will be coming back. Even though this guy is really annoying. Like, jeez, if you're bored, instead of shooting people, just play this war of mine with a shovel. Trust me, it works. Something that I have already started using is the heater. Therefore, I decided to spend my materials into upgrading it so that it can perform more efficiently. Also, since one of my traps had paid off, I went to retrieve the food from them and then put in more fertilizer to get some more. Night 17 consisted of Boris running to the sniper junction and looting the apartment again. As you can see, I completely missed this barred door right here and did not get a saw blade for it. However, at this point I am at a place where I have pretty much looted the entire place empty, so making a saw blade and returning for just some stuff kinda seems like a tough call. We'll see. Day 18 was a day of incremental updates. I went ahead and made ourselves another water harvester so that we can make more water per day, which will be used in making food and more moonshine. In the night, I decided that I had become bored. I did not want to go to the sniper junction again, so I took Erica, got a knife, crowbar, shotgun, and some bullets, and went to take the hotel down. For this one, you can sit back and relax, because I got this. Seriously, I got this. I've cleared up this map so many times at this point, I can probably do it blind. Also because it is super easy to do. You can make your way up to this door to the left side and get into it. Check to see if our friend here is indeed looking in the other direction, then just go up to him and it's an easy takedown. This is where Erica can be a bit of a pain because she's too quiet. Even though I'm gonna use a crowbar to open this door to save the hostage, nobody will be able to hear me and therefore will not be lured up where I could kill them easily. Instead, I had to do this. Go down to this floor and come onto this side. Wait till the guy with the shotgun arrives and let him see you. Then, quickly, I ran back to cover. He came up, and after making me wait a little while, walked right into the trap. 2 down. Now at this point, I couldn't remember if the third guy was armed or not, so I just equipped my shotgun and decided to roll with it. I went down, opened the door, bam and bam. That's the hotel, ladies and gentlemen. See? Yeah, he just had a knife. Of course, since this was a hotel, there is going to be a lot of food. I took some of it right now and then decided to take off. I can always come back with Boris and clean up this place in the next 2 nights. On day 19, we got another trader. To him, I gave a pistol and 2 gems for some cigs, components, and sugar. For round 2, I traded 2 moonshines and got more components, fuel, and wood, and I sent him on his way. Night 19, as I mentioned before, I planned to take Boris to the hotel with me to loot and clear it up. The bandits holed up there had some pretty decent stuff, including cigs, moonshine, and electrical components, which are always useful. I also do actively look out for fertilizers, as they can be used to set up traps and yield 2 raw food. Day 20, as you can see, marked a curb on the crime, and therefore the night was calm. It also brought with it another event, which was people stuck under rubble. Without thinking, I said yes again with Christo and forgot how mad Iskra gets when I do that. Also, this was interesting. She can make water here, but cannot continue this work because it was started by an adult. Huh, good to know. Also, later in the day, I got Boris to build another heater. The reason that I'm doing this is because when this winter does hit, I'm presuming that it will hit hard. I am not expecting 1 heater to be enough, even maxed out with 6 fuel to keep us above 14 degrees. Therefore, to save myself trouble of people getting sick all the time, I built the heater now. This run of the hotel with Boris was about one thing and one thing only: materials. I got lots of components, wood, parts, electricals, pretty much everything I need to keep my stuff like water filters, heaters, and moonshine stills running. I also grabbed a couple of toy materials to build Iskra something that she will like. A toy box, of course. It's weird actually that I'm spending all of these resources on making all this stuff for Iskra. However, this doesn't seem to boost her morale very much. I mean, sure, she's content right now, but so is literally everyone else. The mechanics of these toys and stuff are pretty strange, if there are any mechanics attached to them in the first place. On night 21, I decided to get crazy again. I picked Erica to scavenge, gave her a knife and shotgun, and went to the St. Mary's Church. This particular role that I got on the event was one with bandits, so killing them should not result in a hit in morale. Okay, so I got here and I climbed this huge thingamajig and landed on the other side. There is one of the bandits right here rummaging through some stuff. I sneaked behind and it was an easy takedown kill. Next, I got to the other side of the wall and moved forward when suddenly a watchguard appeared. I decided to lure him down, so I got a little nearer to him, enough so that he could spot me, and then ran down and hid myself. Unfortunately, instead of following me inside, the guy went into the house to warn his other friends. That's not good. And sure enough, he came out with more muscle. This time, however, he was a lot more confident to come up close to me, so I made the best of my opportunity and took him down. That's 2. After looting him, I decided to go up the ladder, but as I was doing, I noticed a guy with the assault rifles staring right at me. Since he was close, I shot him with the shotgun and he shot back. Although Erica got wounded, I still shot another round and dropped him dead. To my horror though, however, more guys came running out from the house, so I just decided to hightail it out of there. I know that next time when I will come scavenging, the body that I just killed would have disappeared. I think I'd rather live with that than living with a dead house member for no good reason. As an obvious aftermath, Erica was pretty shook up, both physically and mentally after that attack. I decided not to take her out for a while now. Boris can go back and deal with the rest of them. The trader also decided to visit us on day 22. I dealt a moonshine and in return got sugar, water, and fuel. For round 2, I focused solely on components and got some SIGs on the side, all for an AK. Okay, y'all know where I'm going and y'all know who I'm taking. It's clobbering time. I quickly got close to the apartment area of the bandits. I took my shotgun out and went in straight away. I decided to look around the entry rooms first, but I could not spot a single person. I waited a long time, probably too long, before I started to hear some action. One guy dropped down and landed on the floor above me. I decided to run towards him and lure him downstairs with my footsteps. As soon as he came into range, I took him down. Although it was pretty heartbreaking to see that he had empty pockets, the armed guys must still be around, it seems. It was getting pretty late anyways. I decided to exit out the back door. On the way, I ran into the fridge, and it seemed a little rude not to take everything away from them after all they've done to us, so I did and ran away. Still, this place deserves one more run. Day 23 brought with it the time that I dreaded the most. Winter. And we already have a sick person, even though there was 4 fuel in the fireplace. Lovely. While reading some thoughts that my residents were having, I came to know about the fact that they had an armchair and no chair was bothering them, so I planned to sort that catastrophe out. Another thing that these people apparently love is a radio, so sure, I'll get you one. I never understood the purpose of this thing. Literally, in every single playthrough, the only reason why I give my residents a radio is that so that they would shut up about it, and that is exactly what I'm doing here as well. You know, the place that we had planned to go out during the night? The church, of course. Fortunately, the last person left to kill was just chilling near the entrance, so I lured them with the sound of my footsteps, hid while they came down, and shot them because I was too impatient to wait. And will you look at that? Empty pockets. Apparently Erica could have easily stole that guy's assault rifle that days anyways. Way to rub it in, game. On my last visit here, I had noticed that a saw blade was needed, so I got one this time. After opening up the gate, I got to the treasure, bullets in one cupboard, and a broken helmet and guitar in the other one. Pretty useful stuff actually. For the rest of my backpack, I filled it with a random loot, weapon parts, alcohol, pills, and what have you. Another area cleared up successfully. The cold is indeed pretty brutal. With 6 fuel burning, the temperature was 11 degrees. So for anyone who doubted my strategy for building 2 stoves, there you go. Because my workshop upgrade allowed for it, I decided to repair the helmet that I had found a day before. This will provide protection to bullet wounds should I run into another sticky situation down the road. I also decided to repair the guitar. I am really unsure about the use of this item as well. I mean, we all know that Zlata can use the guitar to make everyone happy, but what about everyone who isn't Zlata? Do their guitar skills make people sad instead? Do they have no effect? I can tell you from experience that my girl right here, Erica, knows how to play some sick tunes on the guitar, but I haven't seen people's mood change due to it. Guess we'll never know. In the night, it was time to choose between the brothel and the warehouse. Which new place should I go to? And from the two, I chose the warehouse. I kinda know the layout of this place. Like, I have probably visited it once during like the end of my playthrough. I'll be fine. I've got a helmet and stuff, plus I took down a whole military base. I think I can handle a couple of thugs. Watch. So right at the beginning of the map, they'll let you know that the people here are super evil as they're planning to take down the humanitarian aid transports and stuff. Once the two guys are done talking, they'll go inside. I followed. The very entrance of the place looked clear with no guards, so I confidently moved forward and decided to go upstairs and investigate. Once I neared the guy at the top, I tried to lure him in with the sound of my footsteps. He did fall for it, but this other guy also decided to come in at the same time. Fortunately, he left pretty quick and I had a clear shot at taking him down. That's one. Next, I had to play the waiting game. For a long time. Like seriously, this guy made me wait forever. And then, when he came, he decided to just stop abruptly in the middle and then started to move away. Frustrated, I just got out of cover and shot at him. He shot back with his rifle. I got back into cover, not realizing that his shots were still hitting. Once he got a little closer, I shot at him again with the shotgun, and then one final time. Before I could think about what to do next, another guy with a pistol came up and shot me. I think I got him twice, and then... audible sigh. Okay, that sucks. That really sucks. He was the best dude to scavenge, he could combat, and he could bring home loads and loads of stuff, and that is just heartbreaking. We gotta move on though. We are still obscenely rich with huge amounts of food materials, defenses, and weapons, and if you remember what I said before, solo survival wars don't tend to last long either, so I think we'll be just fine. But it does suck. Moving on from that huge loss though, like I said, we are pretty rich to the point where we can start spending resources on luxury items like the herbal workshop. I don't need the meds or bandages from it, but I still do have a pretty active smoker, and bringing back herbs to make some smokes for her is something that we can invest in. On this day, we also did get a trader. Due to winter, you can see the price of wood has risen dramatically. 2 moonshines, an assault rifle, and a pistol only gets me so much when coupled with some raw food and veggies. For round 2, I did get some more components, even though I don't use them as actively since you can't use the rainwater harvester in the winter, but they're always nice to have. But just because we are a little broken right now, doesn't mean that I'm not going to take revenge for Boris. I reached the warehouse this time with Erica and found Boris' dead body. I looted him, respectfully, and took the guns, knife, and tools that he had. Then after paying my more respects, I moved on to more interesting targets. Hi there, buddy. How are you doing? Oh, I'm going to guess not so well anymore. Next time, before killing my housemates, think twice. Since this was still a scavenge, I did snoop around and look at the tools that I will require next time to loot this entire place, and once I was done, it was time to come back home. On day 26, I got another event. The guy that we had helped to rescue people buried under rubble now wanted medicines for them. I had bandages, plus this will probably make my house dudes content, which they hadn't been since a certain terrible night, so I did that. Cool story. This time I took Christo as my scavenge buddy, since his backpack space is a bit superior than Erica's. I took a saw blade and crowbar with me, since I had scouted last night and found that those two would be useful. The loot at the place, no surprises, was decent. Canned food, cigarettes, tobacco, components. I mean, at this point of the playthrough, we pretty much have everything. Mostly the things that are exciting to me now are indeed materials that I can use to build and experiment with new stuff to gauge how useful they are and maybe use them in a future playthrough. The night at the house though was not as good. Erica fell ill and we were also raided, which apparently made Iskra mad again because we took Christo away from her for a night. Other than that, the day was pretty unremarkable until I got a visit from Katya. If you do not know, Katya is an excellent housemate to have as well because she has bargaining skills that help her with the traders and such. Also, she has a 12-slot backpack, plus it's been a lonely anyway since Boris died, so sure, bring him in. Kinda something cute is how I have made Erica into like this mother figure of Iskra. I mean, think about it. She lives with her dad, teaches Iskra how to build new stuff, stays with her all day and talks to her, and hell, guards the house so that Iskra sleeps peacefully at night. Love it! Now that I have Katya with me, taking her to scavenge every night is a no-brainer. She has 12 slots, which is the max, tied with Christo that I have right now. Iskra doesn't get upset since Christo gets to stay at home, and so does Erica. She's her mother, remember? Yeah, I'm pretty serious about that particular roleplay, if you were wondering. The trader returned on day 28, and I sent Erica, for some reason, to trade with him. I don't know why, I guess I just hadn't gotten used to Katya yet, and completely forgot that she was with me now as well. Anyways, all I wanted to do was to get some more wood, which was still expensive as all heavens, and some cigarettes to cover the front so that we don't look too generous. I also got more water, a resource that I had been wanting for a while now, but the endless snow had been inhibiting its production, and I also threw in some sugar and components just for kicks. The night 28 marked my final visit to the warehouse and to Boris. He was a great guy, you know. He was strong, but slow, but still strong. I mean, I could bring home more components than Katya is doing right now with him. He was a good guy. Killed the entire military outpost like a beast. Like, if the war ends prematurely, we have Boris to thank. Like, they'll be back to get some backup at that outpost and they're gonna be like, what tornado just went through this place? Boris, people. He was a true soldier. You will be missed. Day 29 brought with it some very good news. The ridiculously cold days had passed. Our survival is at the moment at a super comfortable and luxurious stage. Also, I made this an alcohol distiller. Looking back at it, I am actually surprised that I didn't do this sooner. But anyways, an alcohol distiller is great because it basically takes one moonshine bottle, a filter and some fuel and converts it into 2 pure alcohol bottles, which I think are worth more. Not 100% sure on that though. But even if they are just the same value, you are getting 2 of them for the price of only 1. Simple math, that is 100% profit. Although I'm not sure on that one either because nobody pays attention in math class anyways. Also during the night, I thought that it was going to be the end of war anyways. What better thing to do than get one of our housemates almost killed again? Seriously though, this was my first attempt at this particular event in the construction place. So basically, unlike the sniper situation, you can't just go up through the left building. You had to move towards the right. I did so and climbed up the ladder. I saw footsteps above, and so I took out my knife and hid in the darkness. Suddenly the door on the left to me opened and a guy was shot from behind. Okay. Before I could fathom that event and get everything settled, another thug came towards me and without thinking I decided to take him down. The other guy pointed his gun at me but was probably waiting for me to make a move, so I ran away from him. He gave me a pretty long chase, but in the end I circled around him, got in front of him, and took him down. Same place, same fashion as I did his buddy. From there, my main goal was to loot the bodies. I took the weapons that these guys had as they are valuable bartering equipment, and will you look at that. This poor guy did have a gun, Unfortunately, just ran out of bullets. Feels bad, man. Rest in peace, buddy. You will be remembered. By somebody, at least. I guess. On day 30, I got the event where the kids came and asked for medicine for their mama. This is actually a bit strange since this event is often followed by them returning a few days later to thank us by giving like jewelry and stuff, but quite honestly, I'm expecting the war to end soon, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just estimating this whole thing wrong, maybe this game has still more fight left in it, I don't know. We'll see. Night 30, as you can imagine, was scavenging the construction site loot with Katya, which Erica's inferior backpack skills couldn't handle. Other than taking the obvious valuables like food and weapons, I also want to build a vegetable garden station thing where I can grow my own veggies before the war ends, and therefore I also scavenged for parts for that. So, like I mentioned before, I have taken deep interest in building and maintaining my own herbal garden. This is one of those workbenches that I have never made in the game, at least not that I remember, and I'm making this just for experiment's sake. Doing stuff for experimental basis is good and everything, but it has one drawback. You often don't have enough materials to upgrade your workbench so you could actually dive in and start doing the thing that you actually wanted to do, grow vegetables. Okay, electrical components. Oh, I just remembered that the guy who got shot, he had 5. Oh my god, I did not pick them, did I? Good job, Chinmay. Way to experiment, bro. But never fear, Katya is here at the construction site and she has gathered 4 to boot. I think I'll need more, I am not sure though. I did pick up a lot of components because they're useful either way. If I do end up needing more electrical components, then I guess I'll visit the decrepit squat again, as I think I left some there way back when we first started scavenging there. At least I hope I left a few there. I'm still unsure about whether I got enough or not, but I did know that we needed this machinery to upgrade the garden anyways, so I started working on that. Until the time I realized that I did not need that piece of machinery to upgrade this at all. I made kind of a huge mess here. I should have used the 3 electrical components to make a heat lamp, and instead I made a mixer. Heat lamp, mixer. I have no idea how I got those two confused. Why would you need a mixer? You know what? I probably don't even deserve to have my own upgraded garden anymore, and I think the game agrees. The war is over. Oh boy, this has been a crazy freaking journey. I'm just gonna let this whole recap credit sequence roll in the background while I talk a little bit more about my experience with making this mini playthrough, because that is something that I do at the end of these, apparently. It was long. That's what she said. Not gonna lie, the length of this video does bother me. I'm not sure at this point how long it is going to turn out, but I'm going to estimate that it is going to be around 50 minutes. This took a lot of editing, lots of hours of scripting, and talking continuously to make. I mean, in the end, it is still just playing a video game and having fun, but this was a pretty long experience. Even from the perspective of an audience, I don't know if people are going to enjoy this. If you think I am wrong though, and you've made it this far, or have any other complaints or suggestions, you can always leave them in the comments. Other than that, you can pause and read the stories of the survivors if you want. Just don't read the Boris one. It makes me feel bad. Anyways, hope you find this content riveting. Yours truly, with love.